So this is my full satiety guide for productivity. In this guide, you'll learn basically how you can improve your focus with improved satiety. Satiety is a really important metric for improving your productivity through health. If you have a problem with binge eating or even eating slightly more than your body can handle, you might lose productivity and definitely health. In this guide, I will give you all the principles that has worked for me to keep myself full throughout the day. So who am I? Well, I'm a guy from Sweden who has been doing biohacking now for about 3 years, and I've come quite a far way. I started with IBS, a kind of really bad gut kind of problem that I had. Every single day I had stomach aches, I had like really bad gut. You know what I mean, right? This had like so big consequences in my life that I understand like shit, I need to fix this in some way. The doctor's saying that I don't have anything special, that I cannot really do anything about it, but I stayed consistent, and here I am today, completely cured that problem. I no longer have these gut pains anymore, and I've learned so much on the way. And in this video, I'm basically going to tell you how you can improve your focus by knowing kind of what kinds of foods you should be eating and what kinds of food and how you should think around your food to have better productivity. Having protein in your diet is going to be really efficient. When I started to have more protein in my diet, I felt that I didn't really need to eat as much food as I once did. The second one is also using fiber to stay more full. If you use these two, protein and fiber, you'll most definitely not need to think about anything else in your diet. If you eat like animal-based products combined with fruits, which has a lot of fiber, you will most definitely stay full. If you're cutting, if you're trying to do some work, you can use this to not overeat. So basically, if you eat protein and fiber when you're trying to work as hard as possible, you will not want to eat more food than you need to eat. One thing to think about also is that you may want to think about having a light breakfast in the morning. Most people like to fast for whatever reason in the morning because they feel they have more energy, they have better focus. Yes, sure, this can work, but if you look at it from a kind of long-term perspective, what will you be doing later on in the day? Well, you are going to be so hungry after fasting for the entire morning. So there's a big risk that you're going to overeat later on in the day. So I would kind of actually advise you to try eating a light breakfast in the morning that contains a lot of protein and a lot of fiber as well. So ideally, you can have eggs and fruits. If you have this in the morning, you will most definitely stay very full until at least lunch or even in the afternoon if you would like to, because you're not going to be overeating if you have a breakfast. You're simply not. If you have the right breakfast, you're not going to be doing that. But if you have like grains or some other kind of breakfast meal that a lot of people have, bread or this heavy kind of carb that is really hard to digest in the body, you're going to get more hungry later on in the day, because this, first of all, doesn't contain any nutrients and it's not really going to make you full. So stay away from grains and keep to natural, or I mean, grains are natural, right? But eggs and fruits are just so much more nutrient dense, which I will get into later on how this affects your hunger. And they contain protein and fiber, which are they are going to keep you as full as possible so that you can eat less, so that you can focus better. Because the reason why you want to eat less when you are trying to do deep work especially is because if you have a lot of food in your stomach, you're not going to be able to perform as good on mental tasks as if you had a really empty stomach, or you just had some coffee, just a light breakfast with protein and fiber. So let's go into the second one. So the second point is using coffee, sparkling water, and regular water in the morning. If you focus on this in the morning, If you have coffee, you have sparkling water, and you have lots of regular water as well. I mean, you can choose between sparkling water and water if you don't like sparkling water. I'm a little bit against drinking sparkling water because it has some negative things to it, right? If you like sparkling water, that's great. You should definitely drink coffee in the morning. This is going to keep you full for like the whole day if you decide to fast for the entire day. So coffee is really great. If you combine this with sparkling water, this is a really great combo. Like, you're not going to want to eat for like the entire day. You're not going to have these hormones creep up on you that is going to make you want to eat food, right? So if you combine coffee with sparkling water, you're most definitely not going to be hungry. This is super good as well because you're keeping yourself hydrated, which is really great for focus as well. You know, you want to keep yourself hydrated throughout the day. You can also, if you feel that you want to have extra hydration and have better focus as well, add some salt, like high quality salt. I know there's a kind of salt that is called Maldon or something like that. I'm not actually sure, because I don't really give a fuck about those specific details, you know. I just care about like the big stuff that actually matters. But if you want to, if you want to have like less minerals, less like heavy metals in your salt, you know, when you're thinking about reducing your hunger, you want to think as much about how your hormones function and not. If you have, for example, protein plus fiber, you can basically get this from like eggs, from animal sources and fruits. And if you combine this with having heavy minerals plus vitamins, if you have heavy minerals and vitamins inside of your diet, you're basically going to keep your body functioning as good as it can function, right? You're basically going to give your body every chance it can get to function as greatly as possible. And when this happens, you keep your body as effective as possible, let's say. And when you do this, your body is going to need less energy, is going to feel less exhausted, you're ultimately going to get less brain fog as well, and thereby you're going to get better focus and mental clarity. So it's a really great thing if you focus on a diet that contains protein, that contains fiber, that contains the right like minerals, good minerals, that is going to keep your like all the minerals and also all of the vitamins as well. If you have a diet that has like a super heavy mineral and vitamin balance, the whole diet basically is just super good, you're never going to get hungry. And what kind of diet can you actually find this from? What kind of diet can you find can keep you the most full? Well, I'm going to reveal it in a second here, if you just let me remove this. Paleo diet. If you're using the paleo diet, you're basically getting the fiber, you're getting the minerals, you're getting the vitamins, you're getting minerals, vitamins, fiber, you're also getting protein in huge amounts, and you're getting like the most amount of nutrients that you can get from a diet, which is going to keep you the most full out of any of the diets. Only if you can stick to it. If you can stick to this diet, this is clearly the best diet for your focus and for your satiety. You're going to be able to cut while using this, and you're going to be able to have perfect focus while doing your work, just like I am doing right now. And I've actually had a big meal as well before this. So if you follow this, you eat lots of animal products, you eat lots of fruits and lots of like sweet potatoes and rice, or maybe not rice because that is just going to fuck you up. If you use this, you're going to be able to conquer your work. You're never going to have brain fog. You're never going to have like crashes throughout the day. And yeah, this is just a fantastic diet for basically optimizing everything in your life. I mean, you can have better focus with this. You can have better sleep with this because your testosterone is going to be good as well. This means that your competitive spirit is going to be improved as well from this, because your sleep and testosterone is going to be optimized. Your training is going to be optimized from this diet, because there is quite a lot of carbs and minerals and vitamins and like everything you need for training, right? And yeah, your focus is going to be great. And I'm filming these videos for you as a businessman. So if you would like private coaching from me, there's a link in the description down below. So click on that and I will see you in the next video.